Hello, welcome to this update for the U.S. and Canada. So let's see here what's happening. So we have this severe weather tomorrow and a little bit today, and we still have these red flag warnings for the dangerous fire conditions, plus on the southeast as well, and also some winter weather advisories in the Rockies and in the northern Midwest as well, and even a winter storm warning or two in Idaho, Montana, and even like in the northeastern part of Minnesota. So let's see here. So today they just updated this to a slight risk for Saturday, the 22nd today. So let's take a look. The tornado threat is just 2%, very small. And there is wind 5%, so also small, but the main thing is some hail at the 15%. So be careful. And let's see here. Scattered thunderstorms can produce isolated large hail and strong wind gusts are possible this evening and overnight from northeast Oklahoma and far northwest Arkansas into eastern Kansas, much of Missouri. So be careful in those areas. And day one today does show still the potential for some freezing rain and spots of the north, some heavy snow, plus the severe weather there, and some storms and some heavy snow in parts of the Rockies too. So be aware. There's day two, still shows some heavier snow possible northern Midwest, some spots of Canada, plus some freezing rain as well. So be careful, and the severe weather we'll talk about soon. And still some snow in the northwest. There's day three, maybe some general snow from Minnesota and to Maine, and like many in Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and spots of Canada. So be aware, and a few storms maybe in the southeast. So for rainfall, day one through three does show more in the south from those storms there, and those Pacific systems still we have very strong, a lot of rain in northern Washington, even Oregon. Day 1 through 5, even more in the Pacific, and slightly more in the south as well as like Texas and more there. Day 1 through 7 shows more moisture into Texas and Louisiana, more spots there. So we are watching this trend too. Still some snow, spots of the Rockies, day one and not way to Washington. They chose shows like the UP of Michigan, Wisconsin, those spots there, and to Ontario. So be careful. And still like in Washington and Idaho and British Columbia. So be aware that heavier snow. They remain to Eastern Canada and Maine in the Northeast. Day 4 doesn't really show much. Day 5 maybe in the north, on the west, a finger two, and Atlantic Canada. Day 6 maybe the west again, and day 7 shows very slight probabilities there. So be aware there's excessive rainfall for day 2. Sunday spots of Washington and Texas until Kentucky, some spots there because of those storms. Day 3 a margin of the Gulf Monday, and day 4 nothing. Day 5 still nothing. So yeah, be careful. And there's like the winter storm severity index shows maybe some moderate in northeasternmost Minnesota and the UP of Michigan, but shows more major in the mountains, Wyoming, spots of Washington too. So yeah, be aware. And here there's some hazards too. Let's see. Maybe like day 3 through 7, some heavy rain in Texas, like I showed you, and some high winds to watch. So be careful. Here's the her does show like those storms today. This might be like later today, this evening into tonight maybe, but there might be some this afternoon. But they're showing to tomorrow morning still some storms there. Missouri, Illinois, and some spots there. Then this goes, and then into tomorrow, we'll have this stronger line of storms there for the severe weather. Let's just take a look here. So there's this light risk from Texas to Tennessee and this marginal from Texas to Kentucky. So uh, severe thunderstorms are possible during the afternoon and evening from East Texas to the lower Mississippi Valley and Tennessee valleys. Large hail and damaging gusts will be the main severe hazard, though a couple of tornadoes are also possible. So be careful tomorrow. Some 15.5% wind, hail the same thing, 15.5%, a very small tornado, 5% to Mississippi, Louisiana, and a bigger 2%. So be careful. Those are still a margin on the Gulf for Monday. So a few strong, possible severe thunderstorms possible Monday afternoon from southeastern Louisiana and eastward towards southern Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. So be careful in those areas. And it shows here, I don't know if this goes far out enough, but it does show like those storms in Tennessee, some in Louisiana tomorrow. But yeah, and then to Texas and those areas. But I don't think this goes far out enough because it's not really showing anything in Texas. So we might need to check again tomorrow. But be careful. And those storms today there. And there's here like for some more stuff like the dew point shows like the 16th. Good. So now is what is happening here? This thing is just this is so weird. But here, let's go like 22Z later this afternoon. So like some 50 still points from Texas or Oklahoma. That's enough for a few severe storms, but nothing crazy. They did that. That's light risk today, and later in the evening, does show some 50 0 points. But if I go further to 12C, shows like if it works here, good. For tomorrow too, so Sunday shows already has some 60s dew points in Texas, so especially later Sunday, so this 15Z shows Louisiana some 60s as well as some 50s dew points all the way to southern Missouri. So a little bit later in the afternoon shows some 60s in Missouri too, and maybe into Mississippi. And later in the evening shows even like 69, 65 dew points in Louisiana and some more in Texas and those areas. So definitely favorable for those severe storms. So be aware about that time. The significant tornado parameter shows some values there, but nothing that crazy. But does show some potential there. And yeah, be careful. And later in the evening, still shows actually like about 1Z in the evening shows slightly higher in Louisiana, Mississippi. Some this significant tornado parameter still later in starting like late evening into tomorrow night, Mississippi, a few spots slightly higher too. So yeah, be careful. And the Cape shows the most Cape in Texas, but where the storms will be at shows Santa Maria, Louisiana to 2,400 joules per kilogram, 2,700, like yeah, close to 2,100. So this is enough, yeah. Be careful. There's the most unstable Cape, a different type of Cape. This one shows all the way to 3,300 joules per kilogram in Louisiana, and there's the surface-based Cape as well. Shows like even close to 3,300 joules per kilogram. And unless you go further north, a little bit less, but that shows some to Tennessee, but yeah, not that much. So yeah, And there's the updraft list as well, if I just put the full one here. So the HERS is kind of weird because it doesn't show Texas much in Texas. It only shows more in Arkansas and Missouri, and shows more in Kentucky as well, but it's barely showing anything down there. This goes until Monday 12C, and they have a slight risk there tomorrow. So the HERS is kind of weird. But if it remains this way, we might make another video tomorrow just to check again. But yeah, be careful those severe storms. The snow here still shows like the European of Michigan, even close to 6 to 8 inches a spot or two, especially in the Rockies, like even like 15 inches in Washington, close to 20 or even more. So yeah, be careful. Some in Colorado, so even a little bit in New York, some spots of Vermont, very little. But be aware, there's the ice as well, and actually next 24 hours until Sunday afternoon, until Sunday morning, does show some ice in Minnesota and to Wisconsin and Michigan. So be aware, that's like close to 1/10 of an inch, nothing that crazy, even like this less than 1/10 of an inch, but be careful. So here for the temperature still like warmer to hot in Texas, some 80s, and this afternoon some 70s, all the way to Kansas, some 80s in the southwest as well, and even some 70s in Florida, not all the way to Virginia, but still some 20s, 30s in the north and the Rockies there. But the night temperatures still show like some teens in the northeast, even low teens, especially some single digits in the Rockies, some 20s in the north, but still some 60s in the south. So beware. Day two still shows some A's close to 90s, some spots there, and even close like Southern California and in Arizona, some 60s and 70s. And yeah, so and some 80s. So be aware, some tourists there, some spots, and just wait 1 minute. I have to fix something here very fast. Okay, I'm so sorry for this, but uh, I'm back now. So let's continue here. So still shows this is day two, I think. Yeah. So this for Sunday afternoon, and then as Sunday night into Monday. That shows some things there further north, and especially some 30s, spots of the Rockies, some 20s, and some lower things in Maine, spots there, and even some 30s down to New York, some areas. So be aware. There's day three, max shows some 90s in the southwest there, especially in that valley, even higher, and some 90s in Arizona, shows some 80s in Texas and in Florida, some 70s, and some 70s all the way to southern Nebraska. So be aware. There's day three as well, the minimum from like Monday night to Tuesday morning, some 20s, Minnesota, some 30s, especially some 30s in the northeast and 20s, and some 20s and 30s in the mountains. So be aware. There's day four, getting much warmer, right? Close to 100 in southern Arizona, in California, some 80, especially in the valleys, and some 90s in Texas too. So some 80 is close to 90 in Florida as well. And some 70s in other parts of the south, and even show 70s all the way up to Oregon. That's crazy. And it's snowing there right now, so that's even crazier. But yeah, be careful. Does show some is true, like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and some 28, some 20s in the northern Midwest and Northeast. There's day 5, max for Wednesday, the 26th. Shows like very warm in this area. Some 96, 95 in California, and Arizona, even southern Nevada, spots of Texas, some may still some 70s all the way to Montana. This weather is definitely changing. There's day 5 minimum, still the northern Midwest, the Northeast, some 20s there, and 30s, but still some 60s in the south, some 50s in other areas. There's day 6 here, shows some is all the way up to Kansas, southern Nebraska, some is in Florida, some 90s further south, and some 70s all the way up to Montana. And then there's day 6 minimum, colder in the Rockies, some 30s, 20s, and the Northeast. And there's Friday, the 28th, shows some 70s all the way up to South Dakota, and some is in Florida, Texas, and the Southwest. So yeah, be aware. And here, uh, for reference, let's take a look. So there's these high pressure systems from the Pacific, maybe some higher pressures into next week, causing those warmer temperatures. Still shows low pressure in some areas, but Wednesday, and then special night shows this is Thursday on the east. But those Pacific storms continue, and supposedly it will be warm there at the same time. So yeah, but shows later into next week did this high pressures by the southeast array. But yeah, be aware those areas. And for Canada now, already shows today the 22nd in Quebec, spots of Labrador too, Newfoundland, and even some freezing rain, spots of British Columbia too, some snow, even further north. So Saturday, Sunday, there's snow in Ontario from the system in the US, and even spots of ice and more snow in Quebec Monday. At the same time, this mixed precipitation in Western Canada and Northern Quebec and Labrador. So Monday, Tuesday, still some in Quebec and Labrador, and maybe Northern Newfoundland. In these areas of some snow for like Northwestern Territories, Manitoba. So Tuesday, Wednesday, some there in British Columbia. Still some mixed precipitation Wednesday in central Canada. So, and then the European wants to do something very crazy after the 28th. I guess there's a lot of snow in Canada and brings a massive ice storm later. But I don't quite trust this yet. We, we, we need to have more time for the models to update. But there's the GFS, a similar thing, that's snow in eastern Canada now, and some ice, the snow in parts of Quebec too. Saturday, and then they snow into Ontario Sunday to Monday, and continuous spots of Western Canada throughout next week. The GFS also has those big Pacific systems like the European, more snow British Columbia, especially like Friday the 28th. It also has this bigger area of snow into next Saturday too, and the GFS is also some ice there. So we better watch this trend very closely. For some rain here, because of those systems on the Pacific, there might be a lot of rain. So let's see Canada first. So like since it's already in inches, let's see the US first. So shows northern Washington, the GFS, close to 5 inches or even 6 inches next 5 days. Shows like next spots in northern Washington, close to 5 inches as well. And there's the European, shows like it doesn't show as much as I thought it would, but it does show some 6 inches to 5 inches. And there's like the icon too. The icon is more onto it. So shows some 8 inches, 7 inches, and there can be flooding there. So be careful, spots of the northwest there. And here does show like for Where's the inches from here? So good. Especially Vancouver Island and parts of British Columbia, the average is close to 300 millimeters, so 265, like 294 millimeters. Here in the mountains, it's basically most of it is snow, but does show a lot of precipitation too. So stay safe. The Europeans kind of calm today, because even the National Weather Service there, when I showed you, had a lot more than this. But the does show more than 100 millimeters. Some spots, the GFS is kind of more like it, shows some 171 southwestern British Columbia and some spots there. So yeah, stay safe from that rain. Now for snow here, does show this is the GFS 5 days. I'll just remove this pressure thing here. So especially in the mountains of British Columbia, and even like 97 centimeters, close to 100 in the next 5 days. So be careful to heavy snow there, some bursts of heavy snow, and in the show British Columbia's central areas, some 25 centimeters, others to 57. And it's good to mention this one, like southwestern Alaska, spots of West Alaska too. And does show like spots in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, some more snow too, especially like northern Saskatchewan, most of Manitoba, some lighter snow, and to Ontario because of that system from the US there. So shows some 21 centimeters, even like 24, some more in Quebec as well, and some 15, 16 centimeters, 21. So yeah, stay safe. Shows some 9, 14 centimeters. There's the European show. It show it shows here like in Ontario, so 16, 22 centimeters. Southern Newfoundland does have like 32 centimeters, especially into Labrador, there's some 34 centimeters, some into Quebec as well. And especially on the west coast, southern Alaska, British Columbia, so 69 to 70 centimeters, 62 in other spots of eastern British Columbia too, and slightly lighter in northern British Columbia. There shows some periods of very light snow, like Nunavut, northwestern territories, Yukon, and these areas like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Alberta. Maybe more in the mountains in Alberta. But yeah, stay safe, southern Alaska, more spots there. So yeah, be careful. Let's see if anything else works here, because I'm clicking everything, it doesn't work. Good. So yeah, stay safe. And here for some other important stuff. So there's this critical fire still today, spots on New Mexico and Texas, some elevated as well, and many areas of elevated plains, high plains too, and more in the southeast from Georgia to Virginia. So be careful. This fire danger, and day two still elevated the plains there. So stay safe, and day 3 to 7 is kind of fine for now. It might change. So yeah, stay safe. There's the temperatures now in Canada. Still pretty cold, but as you saw, the US might warm up a little bit next week. So shows like some minus 25 in Nunavut, spots there still some minus 29, and especially like Yukon, some active temperatures for parts of British Columbia. But this in Quebec and Ontario, there's like this front now, some colder temperatures behind it. So beware, spots of Labrador, northern Quebec especially, and this goes Saturday, and Sunday morning tomorrow shows colder in Quebec and Ontario, in Manitoba, and some other spots there, even like Newfoundland and New Brunswick, some slightly negative temperatures, but in the coldest areas in Nunavut, it's minus 34, and beyond that in the Arctic. So be careful, north and northwestern territories, minus 26, minus 25, 29. So stay safe, some minus 12, and still some active temperatures for central southern Canada. But in the afternoon, show like 5, 7 degrees, spots there, but still cold in the east, even during the afternoon. And then show like Monday morning in Quebec, close to -25. And remember, the wind chills might be colder, especially in Nunavut, might be like -35 wind chills or even less. So it's 28 still, even cold in Alaska too. And the south is slightly better, like Monday and the rest of next week. But this goes there. Dust in the afternoon, some 10, 9 degrees southern Alberta. Spots there in Quebec still cold, except southernmost areas are like 1 degree, 2 degrees in the afternoon. But Monday into Tuesday morning shows still in Nunavut, some -30, spots in Northwestern Territories, and like there into Quebec. So stay safe. More Newfoundland, spots on Labrador, and in Ontario there. So Tuesday. The show Tuesday afternoon, 14 degrees in Alberta, and but still pretty cold on the north and the east, even during the day. So Wednesday morning still shows a lot of negative temperatures. Spots there, -26, especially Nunavut, -33, 34, northern Alaska as well, western Alaska, but all the areas like below 32 Fahrenheit as well. So yeah, below some 20 stings, and especially northern Alaska, some negative Fahrenheit. But the show in Canada, like Wednesday afternoon, is already like close to 17 degrees, even 19 southern Alberta. So be aware, no, be aware, no, have fun because it has been so cold there. This is a good break for you. But yeah, here, so continuing on the east, still cold, but then Wednesday morning, Thursday morning actually, shows still Nunavut -32, so -33. It's still in most of northwestern territories in Yukon very cold. Northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, into Manitoba, spots in British Columbia. So be aware, more spots like in northern Quebec. So stay safe. Thursday, uh, Thursday afternoon is still kind of cold, but the heat is trying to come up, but still cold. But then this goes next night, kind of colder there, central Canada, and Nunavut are close to -35 degrees. So stay safe, yeah, especially the wind chills the northern Quebec too, into Yukon, those areas there. But then like Friday afternoon, still cold, so the heat failed to come all the way up. But yeah, beware, still cold into Saturday morning as well. And then shows like especially around 6 a.m. or something Saturday morning, spots like Nunavut -36 degrees Celsius, and more into like northern Ontario cold too, and like selective temperatures in the southeast as well. So the 29th, 30th still cold there, especially in Nunavut. And yeah, stay safe. So let's see if there's something else important. But I think it's basically it. Be careful of the severe weather. Date 6 to 10 well above average temperatures in the central southern US. The 8 to 14 still slightly above average, and some below average. And the precipitation mostly above average and some below average in the southwest. And this shows a very above average date for 14 in the west, some below average for the south. But one last thing here shows like maybe later next week, as that goes, shows this very stormy period, northern Mexico into Texas, a lot of storms there. So especially some heavy rain in Texas, Friday the 28th. We might make more videos in Spanish from Mexico days later, but just be aware if you're watching from there too. And so Friday the 28th, mainly goes into Texas and more areas. So we'll be watching those storms too. This will be at the same time that the model show that freezing rain snow event. So yeah, keep watching. Be careful, those severe storms tomorrow, Sunday, and yeah, especially here, like later in the evening shows most activity by the European. So stay safe. And now it's like this is winter still. Be careful with fog, and it's already spring. Sorry for saying winter. Thank God it's spring already. And yeah, but still, it might be fog in a spot or two in the morning. And yeah.